Hey, Garage Logic fans, Mishki here, slipping in ever so briefly to mention that I have a podcast that comes out every Wednesday and every Friday, twice a week now. The show is pretty much about everything you care about and are interested in and need in your life and want to know more about. I tailored the darn thing specifically to your liking. I tailored it to your loves, to your true passions. That took a long time. I'm spent. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely wasted.
Well, you just tell me when, Chris.
Rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1598, August 14th, 2025. 96 degrees on this day in 1978. That might have been the year that old Bill Veeck put the White Sox in shorts. And it was 43 degrees on the morning of this day in 1964. Call Josh at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
Do you want all your hopes and dreams for America to be shattered?
Oh, that happened a long time ago.
Do you want to realize that nothing is sacred?
Oh, Joe, what are you doing to us? It's Positive Thursday.
You recall yesterday, and I said it with a burst of pride, that Minnesota was in the running for the best restroom in the country at Bearhead State Park.
I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Best bathroom in the country, which I think is something to be proud of. Clean and whatever. Well, Janine sent me an email. Hey, Joe, I had to write in to address the story about the bathrooms up at Bearhead Lake State Park being nominated for an award. I think someone up at that park has ace grant writing skills and a ballot box with unlimited votes. Back in 2010, they won an award granted by the Coca-Cola Corporation as America's favorite park. I attached the story, and while it is an absolutely gorgeous park, they did not get 1.7 million votes out of a total of 5.7 million votes nationwide, at least not legitimately. Some overeducated employee up there nabbed them $100,000 to promote outdoor recreation and enhance places in the park for people of all ages to play. I can't blame Cockwomble on this. But if they win, that soulless grifter will find some way to get his fingers on that money. She sent me the link to the story. Good luck and keep fighting for us, Mayor. Janine, CI girl extraordinaire from Rosemount. Isn't that something? There's even shenanigans in a clean restroom competition. For I don't doubt...
Is nothing sacred?
For I don't doubt one word, Janine wrote. There's no way this unknown park in northern Minnesota, I hadn't heard of it until yesterday, got almost 2 million votes out of all the national votes cast. And now they're pulling some more hijinks with their...
Okay. This is... I don't like this email.
That's too bad.
This is the equivalent of somebody yelling out, Kenny's been drinking. I smell weed.
Janine is a loyal GLer.
I know that, but can't we just let them win?
No.
I don't care how they won. Yeah. Cheat.
Okay,
it's only cheating if you get caught,
right.
Joe.
That's a good point. He's got a good point there.
You're going to start without me?
Did you realize that the Yardbirds played the Dayton's department store, downtown Minneapolis, on Monday, August 8, 1966.
That's the funnest bit of trivia I've
I don't
heard
know
in a
where
long
Kelsey
time.
finds this stuff.
Yeah, that is awesome.
The lead is only one of them can read music, but lack of formal training has never been much of a problem for the Yardbirds, rhythm and blues quintet from London, England. And they showed up there and played. Jimmy Page, Beck, the whole gang.
Can you imagine
Probably
your
8th floor auditorium.
Okay.
Joe, your grandma walking into Dayton's and hearing that cacophony?
Yeah.
Turn down that orchestra.
But they're quoted in this. It's Minneapolis Star. Guess what section of the newspaper this appeared in, which was not at all uncommon in 1966. It appeared in the women's section.
Oh.
The women's news.
Sure.
That's
Is that a women's section?
in fact.
It was actually called that?
I saw the transformation in newspapers as they left behind the women's section and began to call it something else. For example, what is currently called the variety section in the Star Tribune, that was once the women's section. It went through a number of changes. It changed in 1976. I saw it happen. It was no longer called the women's. It was called Thursday. And on Thursday, big black type Thursday. In fact, that's where I got my start. Trying to write a column was on the Thursday section.
Okay.
And that contained all the news that would have been in what was considered the women's section.
I believe we still have a staff member that refers to that section as the ladies section.
Is it Pat?
No.
Who?
Oh, that's Joe.
Me?
No, I
Yeah.
thought it was Kenny.
Kenny?
I thought you
Oh,
called
yeah,
it that.
I got it from Joe.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I didn't realize this. This is another fun bit of trivia. You were trying to write for women? Were you telling
Give
them
us an example.
Yeah, maybe get a bigger bra there, honey bun. What kind of sage advice were you giving our ladies?
No, you have it
maybe
all wrong.
Could you zip it up? Maybe just shut up a little. You're doing a lot of
You have
talking.
it all wrong. It became an avenue for experimentation when they left behind the idea that women's news was a bit dated, and they began calling it. I remember the editor's name. Her name was Bev Keys, and she was open to trying anything. And it was just so I could write about anything I wanted, and it appeared in what was called Thursday.
See, Kenny has in his mind that you were the Dr. Ruth of Minneapolis.
No.
Ask Joe anything.
What do you need to know?
Joe, I have learned more in the last 7 minutes on this show than I've ever learned working with you. Number one, I stole that women's section thing from you, but I thought you were being funny.
No.
I didn't realize
I watched it transform.
I didn't realize it was a real thing.
Oh, it's absolutely real. And you could trace the laying on of hands goes all the way back, starting with what's now called variety. And there might have been a name between Thursday and variety. I just can't recall it.
But on Sundays, don't they call it entertainment or something like that?
So on Sundays, it's variety. It's
All right.
variety. And
Today it was called Taste.
Yeah, today it was called Taste.
Yeah.
Back in the day, that would have been the women's section.
All I'm picturing is you and Patrick doing a call us and ask for your ladies' advice here. We got you
It
covered.
wasn't anything like that.
Okay.
Now I'm looking at a picture of the Yardbirds.
I need to eat supper at 5:50.
Come on.
I want a cocktail at 5. I need a Pall Mall at 5:30.
This week's column, gas or electric?
Yes.
What do you know? I am seeing, Joe, a 12-second clip from that concert.
Really?
Online.
Oh, cool.
Really? Can you
8
can we
millimeter
play
films.
it?
There's no sound.
Oh.
8 millimeter film said somebody just took.
Johnny, will you do me a favor? Send me that link with the stuff that I'll include with the post-show clips, and I'll post that with the.
And John,
the show today.
see if you can. Do you have Kelsey's email?
Yes.
What was it? I think Dayton's called it something like "Crazy Teenage Days" or something. It was Dayton's was at the forefront of catering to a youth market.
What do you mean?
Well, you had to go to Dayton's to get all the fads, Madras shirts,
okay, yeah.
and
the latest trends and whatnot.
yeah, and they had space in the building for these various entertainment situations, including, for example, the Yardbirds. I presume they were in the 8th floor auditorium. And I guess the angle would be we're going to get all the teens. All the teens will come here for that, and then they'll, buy something.
Fall
on the way
in love
out.
with the wares.
Yeah. But it was called the women's section.
What did you want me to look something up? With
Well,
Kelsey's
I
story,
think
or-
somewhere, either in a picture or something, you see what this event was called. It was like Teenage Crazy Days, or something benign. And yet the Yardbirds were all interviewed. They were all polite. And Jimmy Page said, "I've been to the States once before, but I've never been to Minneapolis." That was the first time he performed in the United States, because the first time he was in the States, for some reason he wasn't performing. On this occasion, appearing at Dayton's was the first time Jimmy Page played a guitar in the United States.
Wow.
Think about that, though. You've just traveled the ocean, probably a long flight. You're tired, and you're going to your first big gig, and it's in a department store for kids.
Yeah.
It looks like from this 8 seconds or 12 seconds of tape or video or film,
Thank you.
I guess it would be.
Thank you, John.
Yes. That it was an auditorium. Joe, do you know? Did they have an auditorium?
They had an
on
8th
the
floor
8th
auditorium.
floor?
That's where the Christmas display always was. That big 8th floor spread up there.
Huh.
Yeah.
With those animatronic
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Now, it's inconceivable to me that they would have hauled their own equipment across the pond. So they had to call Jimmy Lopez at B Sharp or somebody that showed up in a van and set some amps up for them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't have been a lot of equipment anyway at that
No.
point.
John,
66.
is there a crowd in the video that you can see?
No, it's just them, 12 seconds of them on stage, doing this.
Gyrating.
Yeah.
It
Singing.
always astonishes me to see photos of the Beatles at Shea Stadium with an amount of equipment that would fit in a minivan.
Oh, yeah.
It's just amazing to me.
I've played gigs with much more better
So
equipment
have I.
than they had
It's
there.
amazing. That stuff would have fit in Ted Wolf's mother's station wagon. What were the weird lights in the sky over Minnesota and Wisconsin Tuesday night? Are you aware
Tuesday.
of the reports? Are you aware?
I not only am aware, I seen him.
I didn't see them.
Well, you got to get out of the
did not.
sustainable urban core is the problem.
You tell me down in Canada over there, you have
Down in Canada.
wherever you live.
Down in Canada.
You know
Up
what
in
it
Canada.
was?
Right.
Shower, meteorite shower.
A fuel dump from a rocket launch.
Come on. Is that what it was? Seriously?
What?
You don't tell me.
The question is if it was a launch of the Vulcan rocket from Cape Canaveral or the launch from the European spaceport in French Guiana.
No way.
Really? At 7:37 p.m. Central Time, the European Space Agency sent its Ariane 6 rocket carrying a 4-ton weather satellite into orbit. The rocket conducted a fuel dump at 9:45 p.m. Central Time, which aligns with the timing of the sightings in Minnesota and throughout the U.S. The United Launch Alliance launched its Vulcan rocket from Cape Canaveral at 7:56 p.m. Central Time. The rocket put an experimental navigation satellite into orbit. The swirl in the sky was not a common sight, but it's happening more and more as companies like SpaceX launch rockets into space. A similar incident went viral over Alaska in 2023, and Don Hampton, a professor at the University of Alaska Fairbanks Geophysical Institute, summed it up as a simple fuel release. When they do that at high altitudes, that fuel turns into ice, Hampson told the AP. And if it happens to be in the sunlight, when you're in the darkness on the ground, you can see it as a sort of big cloud, and sometimes it's swirly. This is from a site called Bring Me the News. So there you have it. Multiple rockets were launched around the same time Tuesday night, and the result was an unusual view in the night sky. So there you have it.
That's
the mystery
cool.
solved, huh?
Yeah.
The mystery solved. I contend it was not that at all. It was aliens.
Okay.
I saw a couple planets lined up on top of each other this morning.
Yes.
Walking into work.
Last night and into at about 5 in the morning.
Yeah, that's
in
when I
the
saw them. Yeah.
Northern Eastern sky, yes.
Yeah.
I've been humiliated
I'll join the club.
in my long career, and I've gotten rather used to it, and that's part of the deal. But I've never been humiliated like that which I'm about to read you.
Oh. On account of we do
Never.
want to know why.
Never been humiliated like this.
Okay.
You all know that we have the story in town of the feral youth breaking automobile windows.
For sure, yeah.
And attempting to steal valuables.
It's made national news, in fact.
Scott Johnson, and he always includes not that Scott Johnson. Oh, I think he's in Illinois. Dear Joe, I hope I can get through this. The story about the gang of burglars breaking into cars in northeast Minneapolis reminds me of an incident almost 20 years ago when we were still living in Bloomington. I believe I may have shared this with you once before, but it's been a while and I'm old. And I can attest that I don't believe he shared this with me. It would have stung enough for me to remember it. Much like Kenny, I've always followed the practice of not keeping anything valuable in my car and not locking it so that would-be thieves don't have to break anything to get in. One night, a group of thieves, likely teenagers, went through our neighborhood, burgling all the cars parked outside, including mine. Because my car was unlocked, no damage was done, and because I didn't have anything of value in it, nothing was stolen. In fact, instead of taking anything, they left a present.
Oh,
No.
Before they hit my car, the thieves had stolen a bunch of compact discs from my next-door neighbor's car. By the time they got to my car, they had apparently gone through the CDs because they decided to discard.
You guys see this coming?
Oh,
They
yeah.
decided to discard 2 CDs that they didn't want in my front seat. And what, you ask, were the selections that didn't interest even a common thief?
Oh, no.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Slim Whitman's greatest hits
Okay.
and the best of Saturday morning sports talk with Joe and Pat.
Can you see the dude looking at it going, what the hell
What the
is
hell
this?
is this? Dump it.
My dad used to listen to those guys.
Oh, my God, is that
You
funny?
guys and Slim.
Oh, that is so funny. Oh, that is wonderful. I got to save this for Pat. Oh,
It's
my.
time to play Love in a Hardware Store.
Pat, there was a burglary ring in Bloomington. They only threw out 2 CDs. One was Slim Whitman, the other was us. Oh, that's fantastic.
I understand why they gave the Joe and Pat one back, but what's wrong with Slim Whitman?
That's what he'll say.
Yes.
That's what he'll
I
say.
understand them giving us back.
Oh, my God.
America's favorite tenor.
Oh, that's just wonderful.
Which one was on top of the other, do you think, in order of discarding these two?
Oh, I suppose they were just laying there, Chris. I'm not sure it's
Just
important.
to get rid of them.
Am I not humiliated enough?
I'm sorry.
You prick me, do I not bleed?
I am sorry if you're offended.
I am offended. I think it's a terrible, terrible turn of events. Where am I?
You're in the home.
Right.
They're about to serve you lunch. We talked to the doctor. You're going to be okay.
And for lunch, what are you going to have?
Frontal pup.
Oh, the second most sold product at the Minnesota State Fair.
It's the best value at the fair. Everything at the fair costs about $100. Not your Pronto Pup. The official food on a stick in Garage Logic. Of course, it's the Minnesota State Fair's original food on a stick. It dates to 1947, founded by the Carness family. And it's still owned and operated by Greg and Wayne Carness with 8 great locations throughout the fairgrounds. Support Pronto Pups this year. They're not only great tasting, you're doing yourself a favor on the pocketbook. It's the official food on a stick in Garage Logic and the official and original food on the stick at the Minnesota State Fair.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
I, too, have a shameful admission, and I owe an apology to tweedertool.com because last week, probably right around this time, I was telling GLers that if you're the guest of a friend that has a place that has lake weeds, order one up and present it to your host.
Uh-oh.
And I thought, oh, Ketty, you're so awesome. You're so smart. And the host would love that. Absolutely love that. Well, turns out over the weekend, I was at my mother-in-law's place. We had a family reunion there, and I was standing out on her dock and noticing all the lake weeds on the bottom of the lake there. These are lake weeds with shallow roots that the tea-weeder, and we had a ton of kids around the property, kids that were bored and running around and climbing trees and being kids. The fun they could have had throwing out that tea-weeder tool. It's aluminum. It's got offset teeth, about a 4-foot aluminum handle, and it's got rope on it. The fun they could have had standing on the dock, standing on the shore, tossing it out, pulling it in, pulling out all those lake weeds, and we would have let them dry overnight, put them right there in the fire pit, and it would have been so awesome. Did I do that? No, of course I didn't do that. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even take my own advice. So I don't know if I have the right to give you advice, but I still think it's good advice. This tea-weeder tool, it's made by a GLer, Tim. He has the same problem, or he had the same problem my mother-in-law had. So he went to the garage and he figured it out. He came out with the tea-weeder, and this thing is amazing. We're running video of it right now, and Tim's demonstrating it. It looks like a lot of fun, and you can have a big old pile of weeds in no time flat. It's an amazing tool from an amazing guy. Go to the website, order up yours now. Maybe order one for your mother-in-law, too. tweedertool.com.
Suchi boy.
Yes.
Loyal Town Council member Susan Wright says, Joe, I believe it was also called Family Life at one time in reference to the women's section. There were many different names, but I personally don't recall it ever being called Thursday.
Yeah,
Family Life.
All okay, right. I accept that.
All right.
But it was Thursday from about 1976 to maybe 1980, right in that era.
All right.
Yeah. I have a piece here that appeared on American Thinker. It's written by Andrea Widberg, and she's writing about a guy named John Oliver, who I don't watch.
Oh, yeah.
And she apparently doesn't either. For those fortunate enough never to have watched him, Oliver is an upper-middle-class, Cambridge-educated leftist from England. He got a start on Jon Stewart's Daily Show before being rewarded with his own HBO show. For many years, I had a leftist friend who relentlessly sent me videos of Oliver's monologues, assuring me that Oliver's wit and erudition would convince me that my conservative views were just wrong. I did not find Oliver persuasive. Given that he's supposed to be a comedian, I felt Oliver committed the ultimate sin. He wasn't funny. Instead, he made obvious leftist points to the trained seals in the audience, usually backed by labored analogies. Both wit and comic sensibility were singularly lacking. But sometimes even an unfunny comedian, when given just the right material, can actually be funny. And believe it or not, the right material is Chuck Schumer.
An unlikely
It
suspect.
turns out that for his entire political career, Schumer has explained to the world that his policies are geared toward the happiness of Joe and Eileen Bailey of Long Island, New York. They are the quintessential middle Americans with everyman values, which, naturally enough, skew left. And Schumer's made it clear that it's his job to keep Joe and Eileen Bailey happy. The only problem with the Baileys is that they're figments of Schumer's imagination. That's funny enough, but Oliver, or more accurately his writers, actually made it funnier, offering genuine comedic material. The only time the humor collapses at the very end when Oliver is unable to resist turning Schumer's madness into a mini polemic, advancing Oliver's own political views. And then she concludes, this is the only time in my life that I'll probably urge you to watch John Oliver. I'm doing so because, A, it reveals how detached from reality the Democratic political class is. I mean, literally detached from reality, and B, it'll make you laugh. Okay, I'd be tempted to watch that. I'm unaware of that. But doesn't that say a great deal about the third rail? The third rail is so distanced.
How distant are they?
So distant from the Americans they serve that they have to make up a fake couple. They don't know a real couple. This doesn't surprise you about Schumer, who I find to be a bit oily.
Yeah.
And all this time, he's been preaching about this couple, the Baileys, and apparently they don't exist. There's 350, 400 million people in this country. You can't find a real couple?
Come on, there's got to be somebody.
Even that Delta baggage handler that I often refer to living in South.
He's probably real.
That's a real guy.
Yeah.
He was my neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. That's exactly how Schumer is referring to the Baileys. That's his Delta baggage handler.
Right.
The difference being that yours is real.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's just
Precious.
And he's what? He's a careerist, isn't he? He hasn't done anything else.
This Andrea gal is right, though, about John Oliver.
I'm somewhat familiar with him, but not terribly. Bert, actually not Bert, the mink. We use cockwomble for walls. He's got a word that could be used. I'm assigning it to the Somalis. The Somalis are snollygosters.
What is that?
Snollygosters refers to an unprincipled, shrewd individual. A snollygoster.
Look what I wrote down an hour ago. Put it on a Post-it note so I could remember. This is what I was going to call Somalis. And
Scallywags.
I realized I spelled it wrong.
You're on the right track.
But I can't believe that we're in the same mindset today.
Not all snollygosters appear in the news, but the snollygosters who appear in the news are all thieves. Okay, Walls is cockwomble. The Somali thieves are snollygosters.
Yep.
I like snollygoster.
I like that term.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And that's not even a big term that I would say, screw that one. That one's...
Well,
It's
the Brits
fun.
have a way with the words, don't they?
Quite
Boy, do
right.
they.
Quite right.
Yeah, I think they do. And
I do.
Your governor, by the way, issued... I don't even know why he does this, but at this point, he's probably just trying to have a laugh.
He's having a laugh.
Talking about, Minnesota ranking as the top 5 states. And then, of course, it just becomes inundated with, nope, wrong, nope, here's this story, here's that story.
I'm here for the comment.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right, Kenny.
Yeah.
do you know there are, I'm sure you do know, on the socials, there are a lot of apparently AI-generated videos
I'll say.
of Cockwomble dancing as a Vikings cheerleader.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
George Will had a line about Cockwomble today that Cockwomble probably took as flattery. What it wasn't. He said something. I don't have it in front. Yes, I do have it in front of me. I do have it in front of me. Just a moment.
George Will?
Yeah, it's a great line from old George.
Isn't he the guy that rented the Jaguar? And
He didn't rent it, Matt. He bought it.
Went downtown Minneapolis.
Walked across the street
with that
and
checkbook.
bought one.
Dang.
And drove it home. Where is it? Right here. George Will. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz selected by Vice President Kamala Harris as a running mate, perhaps because he made her seem comparatively substantial. And that was the line. I think
it's a good shot.
That's right. Where was I? Oh,
Walls.
Walz is the Vikings have male cheerleaders.
One.
I thought they had
I
two.
think.
Oh, is it two? I thought it was just one. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't
Are they
know.
hiring?
I don't know why that's a big deal. I don't care that they have male cheerleaders. It's about a 10-page story in Newsweek. What's the deal? Who cares?
There were fans that were somewhat upset, saying, "I'm going to cancel my tickets."
Well,
to which I say to them,
they're not.
You're not going to do it.
No,
and B,
they're not.
If you did, there's 150 people in line to buy them.
Right.
So
This is all a clever marketing ploy. Am I the only one that sees through all of this? None of you are cynical enough to hang out with me.
But I am kind of, but okay.
Well, Kenny, maybe I can top you by announcing to you that last week I told you I was never even going to talk about this because I'm very aware it's a marketing scam.
What are you doing right
Oh,
now?
my God, it's getting national attention. Are you kidding me? Why? Who cares?
It's because people are equating it to, and I'm not one of them. I want to be up front.
One of them.
People are equating this to the Bud Light catastrophe with Dylan Mulvaney. That's what this is.
Do you want me to get the Duluth double ready, please?
I got it right now.
Well, one of the male cheerleaders is named Blaze Chic, Blaize.
What's
up,
that's a
Blaze?
real name?
Is that a stripper name?
It's got to be a stripper
Gotta be a
name.
stripper name. Or he's French.
Rookie year extended, and I'm honored to share that I'm officially a 2025-26 Vikings cheerleader. I'm so grateful for this journey, the support, and the opportunity to make history. I hope to represent and inspire what's possible when you stay true to who you are. MVC Blaze. I don't know what MVC means.
Minnesota Viking cheerleader.
You know what I would like? I think, and this would be a treat for GLers at the Minnesota State Fair next Friday. Matthew dressed as a Vikings cheerleader.
No, see, you got to stop, Kenny, because remember when he wore the O'Gara's tank top a couple of years ago?
That's been the highlight. That's been my Minnesota State Fair highlight. Matthew as a cheerleader doing a cheer for us.
I can do a cheer.
Yeah.
BEAGGRESSIVE. Aggressive. Got to be aggressive. Yes.
Yes. See?
Or we could do the Central High School. You ugly. You ugly. Your mama say you ugly. That was a legitimate cheer in high school by the Central cheerleaders.
So, please, Matthew,
Can
get
you find
yourself
a
skirt.
Vikings cheerleader
Get yourself a skirt and a
I'll
top.
look around for one.
How about this one?
You have people in your circle who could create
Make
one.
sure it's all too
Probably
small,
make one. Yeah,
Matthew.
a little tight.
You know, whenever
Gotta
us
be.
country bumpkins from Faribault would roll into a private school, it was, it's all right, it's okay, you'll come work for us one day.
Yes, that was a great private school chant.
That's
to
what the
public
private schools were chanting to you.
To me.
Yeah, it's all right. It's
Right.
okay.
And
You
were they
will work for
wrong?
us someday.
No, they weren't. Nope.
Do you remember when I had you guys going that I was a male cheerleader in high school?
That was your family.
I thought you were, actually.
Oh, was that my family?
You duped your family.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, and they
And you
believed
told
it.
us the story.
Okay, they did believe it too.
I believe it. You were,
I think
weren't
you're
you?
trying to cover it up by saying you were making. Yeah, I
trying
think
to
this
just
is a
mock
I
it a
don't.
little bit.
ruse.
I mean, I hate to interject this, but I do know one of the staff members was Freddie the Falcon for a short time for women's basketball in Faribault, Minnesota.
Would that be you?
Oh, no.
That was me.
Freddie
the Falcon.
Yes, we had the original Freddie broke her leg, so someone had to rise to the challenge, and of course, I, being a good community member, said, Sure.
Did you have to wear a bird suit?
Oh, the big giant costume.
And
the smelly-
$100 says you were Stark A under that thing, just leaving ball sweat everywhere.
Hey, good luck with that suit, kid.
Throw that thing
Poor
away.
girl who had to put it on next.
Threw it on the homecoming bonfire.
Might want to run that one through the car wash
Are
before
they
you.
the Faribault Falcons? Is that your name?
That's right, sir.
Out of the ashes.
Man, that's
You know why?
That's some tough stuff.
We're from Faribault. Couldn't be prouder.
Yeah.
If you can't hear us, we'll yell a little
I
louder.
think we have another male cheerleader in here, huh?
Nothing wrong with being a cheerleader, and if the Vikings want male cheerleaders, I don't really care one way or the other.
And I got him down, too, because you have to be prominent when you...
You
With
know,
authority. Yes.
Anything's an improvement to what I grew up with. The St. Louis Park Parkettes.
Ooh.
That they wore snowmobile suits and
Weren't really very scantily
a lot
clad,
of big
huh?
girls, a lot of big girls, and you didn't really, they didn't really detract you from enjoying the game.
How about the cheerleaders? How about it bouncing around?
And they were the St. Louis Park Parkettes.
Wow.
And now that's morphed into whatever they're called today, the Vikings cheerleaders. I
Well,
guess.
it was a couple of weeks ago when the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders show. They must have a YouTube thing, and I observed my 13 and 10-year-old
Mouth agape.
right. As
Yeah,
I went,
but is
what are you
it-
guys watching? Oh, nothing.
Yeah,
Isn't something criminal taking place, though? Aren't they paid $12 a game or something?
Yeah.
And-
I think that was addressed maybe a year or two ago where they are being paid more. I think it started in Dallas. I think it was the Dallas cheerleaders. But yes, they were being paid nothing in
Because-
recent years.
Because they're put through weight tests, and they might as well be high school wrestlers trying to meet their weight
Yeah, they got to practice.
And humiliation.
and humiliation.
And I love the fact that Green Bay boasts that we don't have cheerleaders.
And then there's guys like us in the audience with binoculars trained on them the whole time.
My dad throwing the TV on pause.
Didn't we at
I
one
don't know if
point
he really did that, but it was a good shot.
refresh my memory? Didn't we at one point because we found a Green Bay Packer dating site? Wasn't that? Didn't we do
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
And didn't we?
Yes.
We found
Yes.
what was it? We found a great profile on there. We referenced her on the show.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay.
Big Sheila?
It was a gal.
Dang it! I got to find that. That was pretty funny.
Well, that day I hung out with Jim McMahon, he pointed out all the cheerleaders that had benefits with him.
Got it.
Was he of sound mind at this point?
He was playing
He was
for
still
the
playing.
Vikings.
Oh.
He was a backup for the Vikings.
Because he's not of sound mind now. He's got the
A lot of guys, yeah.
got the bad
CTE.
helmet. Got the bad
CTE.
helmet going. Yeah, he thinks the moon's a bowl of spaghetti.
Oh, boy.
Say, I believe we're going to have John Heidt joining us.
Yes, but first,
Bunga
You want me to
bunga.
tell you about the center?
I would love for you to tell me about the
This
center.
show operates almost in conjunction with the Center of the American Experiment. We like their stuff, as they say. We're lucky to have them. They're going to be at the State Fair on the first Saturday of the fair. That's a week from this Saturday. Do you believe that?
Yes.
It's a week from this Saturday. They'll be talking about how our schools are not as good as they once were and not as good as you think, but Cockwomble keeps fooling you, doesn't he? And we're not just talking about Minneapolis and St. Paul. We're talking about the entire state. Less than half of Minnesota students are meeting grade level benchmarks in reading and math. That's a national embarrassment. That's absurd. Since 2015, Mississippi's black and Hispanic students have consistently outperformed Minnesota in reading and math. To which I would say, well, why wouldn't they? Meanwhile, the graduation rate is an all-time high. That doesn't work.
Yeah, that does not.
So American Experiment has something called American Experiment 7K for Kids campaign. You stop by and see them and sign up for this. That would give parents control of $7,000 a year per child in their family to choose the best education for their kids. Public, private, charter, homeschool, whatever fits. Learn more at 7kforkids.com or americanexperiment.org or visit the Center of the American Experiment next Saturday at the State Fair.
justice, and the suture.
Let's talk about our friends at Hofferman Water and Connecticut. And you know what? Now is a great time to upgrade your water. And they will also be at the McLeod County Fair this coming weekend. Hofferman Water and Connecticut, that is. And right now, they're going to raffle off a free water softener for people that connect with them at the county fairs. And they also have a deal going on to upgrade to a new Premier Series water softener. That's their absolute top of the line water softener, by the way. And you can also get a free reverse osmosis system. So stop by the county fair booth or just give them a call directly at 612-895-2440, and they'll connect you with one of their certified water treatment experts on that sale. And here's the thing, it's a great time to get on that schedule. So 612-895-2440. You can also book your appointment online at hoffermanwater.com. And as long as you're on that website, you can see every single water treatment system that they have to offer. I've made the switch. It's made an amazing difference in the quality of my water, and it will do the same for you. And Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Here's John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company. Early this morning, authorities announced they recovered human remains from a submerged car believed to be connected to an unsolved case from 1967.
Whoa.
According to the Stearns County Sheriff's Office, the car was found on Sunday in the Mississippi River when a fisherman noticed an anomaly on his sonar while fishing near the city of Sartell. On Wednesday, the Stearns Benton County Sheriff's Office dive team organized a search where they located the car about 10 in the morning. Sheriff's Office said the car was half full of sediment and appeared to be from the 1960s. It's since been identified as a 1963 Buick Electra. According to the Stearns County Sheriff's Office, the Benton County Sheriff's Office contacted them regarding a missing person case from September 25th, 1967. Authorities say the missing person was Roy Ben, and the VIN number on the submerged vehicle came up as belonging to Ben. The vehicle will be processed by the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the Benton County Sheriff's Office, the Stearns County Sheriff's Office, and the Sartell Police Department. The Midwest Medical Examiner's Office will determine the identity of the remains and the cause of death.
I'm sorry for his loss, but after 58 years, I think I'm entitled to be more curious about the car. Did they pull the car up and it stayed together? In other words, 58 years wasn't enough to completely destroy the car?
Well, and it was full of silt, so you're right. Yeah. You'd think it would pull apart when they lifted it out of there.
The Electra was a big car, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Matthew, I'm looking at one right now, and I don't, again, like Joe said, no disrespect, but I picture a guy that would drive a 63 Electra in 1967 is having a flat top crew cut.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Maybe box of Kleenex on the back shelf.
A fedora?
Yeah.
Could be.
And he's got a white short sleeve shirt tucked in.
From Penny's.
Yeah, and a pack of Camels in the breast pocket.
Yeah. I wonder how the guy... so it's not even being called a murder
not at this
suspicion,
point,
is it, John?
No, not right now. They're still investigating, so...
That's up near St. Cloud.
Yeah, that's not far.
Well, think what that family went through, though.
Oh, wondering. I know. That's why I say it's been 58 years. I don't mean to disrespect the fellow, but it intrigues me that the car was able to be hauled out of the river and it didn't break in half.
Joe, that was Detroit steel.
Man alive.
Was that, did you say Mississippi River?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Plus, at this point, if they're going to investigate, there can't be anyone left, right? I mean,
and there can't be much of him left, can there?
Well, no, probably not. But I mean, if they're going to say talk to a relative,
I would imagine. What's his last name?
Ben. Benn.
Maybe there are Bens around that are grateful that this mystery's been solved.
Did he have his hand on the wheel?
Okay, let's. No,
I wasn't being on poor taste.
In other news, St. Paul Public Schools is holding a hiring fair today, hoping to hire dozens of people. The school year is set to start September 2nd, and there are currently more than 100 job openings. Many of those openings are for paraprofessionals in the district. They're looking for both education and teaching assistants. For comparison, Minneapolis Public School has 23 positions listed as open on their website for paraprofessionals. The hiring fair happening today at the American Indian Magnet School from 11 this morning until 8 tonight. Officials say walk-ins are welcome. More than 2 years after it was created, the Minneapolis Office of Cannabis Management has its first permanent leader, Eric Taubel. Eric Taubel, who has served as OCM's interim director since January, will now be the office's executive director. Taubel was the OCM's general counsel before his appointment to lead the office. Under Taubel, the OCM has taken strides toward establishing a recreational cannabis market in Minnesota, formalizing rules for the industry, and holding lotteries for cannabis business licenses. So far, the OCM has given preliminary approval to 1,273 prospective cannabis businesses and issued 10 licenses. Taubel is the second person that Governor Walz has nominated for the position. The first nominee, you'll remember, Aaron Dupree, backed out 1 day later after reports came out revealing that her Apple Valley THC shop might have sold products that didn't comply at the time with state law.
He even blew that, didn't he? He couldn't even hire a dope head.
Dope head.
The chief of dope. He couldn't even do that.
The dope department. I get it. Dope
I would hope that the new leader would be Cheech and Chong high all the time.
Yeah. Why not? It's legal.
Smoke them if you got them.
The state is going to rue the day.
He got weed.
Well, efforts to track down suspects connected to a smash and grab spree in Minneapolis are underway, according to police. They confirm officers are not pursuing them when they flee, per department policy. We talked about this story yesterday. For several weeks now, hundreds of vehicles have been targeted by criminals. In one video shared with our news friends at 5 Eyewitness News, they're seen going car to car, smashing windows. Monday night into Tuesday morning alone, at least 125 vehicles damaged. Later that night, MPD is now confirming officers spotted possible suspects, but the encounter did not result in an arrest. The department said in a statement, MPD did attempt to stop at least one vehicle believed to be related to the sprees Tuesday night. When that vehicle fled, and MPD did not pursue per our policy.
Wow.
Channel 5 asked MPD about whether there's any consideration to change the pursuit policy, and MPD declined the request for an interview, answering in a statement, there are no planned changes to the pursuit policy. The safety risks from pursuits which endanger suspects, officers, and anyone in the path of a pursuit far outweigh the justification of pursuing solely for property damage or theft. They also asked MPD if there could be any exemption given the high number of incidents, but police said that's not in the policy. Most of the recent break-ins have happened in Councilmember Michael Rainville's ward, and he too learned about an officer spotting the possible suspects and not pursuing. Rainville now says he'd like to see the policy be revisited. He said it's like they own the town. Where's the balance? It's to me, the balance needs to be looked at again. Said he understands the importance of safety, but thinks the criminal activity has changed since the pursuit policy was adjusted. He said under the current rules, unless there's a gun involved or a serious felony, the chase ends, and these young teenagers, young adults know that they can take advantage of it.
Are they leaving behind any Garage Logic CDs?
Yeah, right.
Joe, did you see
It's
any
time
of
to play Love in a Hardware Store.
Did you see any of the news coverage and the footage of the residents who watched their cars being robbed? And they were like, I feel like violated, man. And did you see any of that? Mm-hmm. I just wonder if something like that would be enough for them to change who they vote for or consider what's going on around them.
No, I've given up on our population. They don't.
All right.
They don't have their act together at all.
They're not aware enough to put two and two together.
No.
Why don't we?
Can I share a quick email before we break, Johnny?
Sure.
Joel, a loyal town council member, Stevens says, Joe, I was listening to your discussion about the Yardbirds at Dayton's.
Sure.
I witnessed Simon and Garfunkel play at Dayton's way back in the day. It was by invitation only from the North Briar shop. I'm unfamiliar.
North Briar shop is where you'd get the latest in male fad clothes.
Were you a subscriber?
No.
Oh.
Isn't that where the bananas got their yellow suits?
Tailored.
Why don't we take a break?
No answer from the mayor.
Where did we get those?
J.C. Penney.
Here it is already, Positive Tuesday. No, wait. Thursday already? It's Thursday already? That means one thing. Mike Schoonover is here because Positive Thursday is always brought to us by Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care. They're in Shoreview, 1060 County Road E. Mike, got my dander up today. So I've been seeing a headline the past week or so. Due to the tariffs, expect your auto insurance to go up. No, the executives aren't taking a pay cut, Mike. Explain.
Well, I'm glad to see you're fired up today, Kenny.
Oh, my, I'm so angry.
That's awesome. Well, hey, welcome to the collision world and auto glass world. Insurance companies' rates are high. There's no doubt about it, and I hope that GLers are, shopping their insurance, just making sure they're getting the best deal and best value. But the tactics that are taking place right now with some of these insurance carriers, they're not giving their customers the money that is due to them, and they're making them jump through a lot of hoops. So, just as a reminder, GLers, we are not part of, and many shops are not part of insurance direct repair programs. We have not. We canceled all our contracts many years ago because we want to work for you. We do not want to work for the insurance company, and we will work with the insurance company on your behalf. And so what insurance companies want to do, they want you to go to their low-cost provider, shop on their network, so they can save money, and that's not in your best interest. So, Kenny, it's brutal out there. So, when GLers are getting told by their insurance company, if you take it to Schoonovers or a shop that's not on our program, you're going to have to pay out of pocket. You're going to have to do this, and you're going to have to do that, which doesn't sound very, very promising. But that's not the case. Us, like many other shops, will not charge the customer extra. We will just give them the best service and quality and parts available. We're not going to use the cheaper alternative parts like aftermarket parts or used parts. There's a time and a place for those parts, but it's not on these vehicles that are on the road right now that have all these sophisticated electronics and things to keep people from running into each other.
You're not talking me off the ledge at all here, Mike. I'm still angry. Number one, is anyone getting the best deal? Number two, what incentives do repair shops have to be the puppet of insurance companies? How is that benefiting a body shop or a repair shop? I don't understand that relationship. Why isn't everybody like you guys?
Well, there's a lot of shops out there, especially shops that are quote-unquote consolidator shops, meaning those are regional multi-shop organizations or national multi-shop organizations. Yeah. They're kind of the big box store of collision repair.
Sure.
And so they make big deals to keep their shops full by cutting their prices, and insurance companies want to send the cars to them. So, like myself, our shop and many other independent shops or smaller family-owned businesses, you're not going to get the care that you get at places like ours than you do at those larger places, because quite frankly, they're working for the insurance industry, trying to keep their numbers looking good so that they get more work.
I'm just so incensed that the lot of us pay, and then when it comes time to use our insurance because we need it, they fight us at every turn and try to lowball us. To me, that's un-American, if you ask me.
Well, it's just the way that it is. Insurance kind of runs the world. We can't be without it. And when we have a loss, we do need it, and we do depend on them. So hopefully things will settle down here in the next year or two, and we can kind of get back to normal, whatever that new normal is. But in the meantime, we're here for GLers. If we'll deal with the insurance companies. That's what we love to do. We do it in a respectful manner. We're honest. We're ethical. We're transparent. And there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, and we do it the right way.
It's so amazing, GLers. If you haven't had a chance to go through this with Schoonover, both me and my son, we've had claims And we've had Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care handle those claims. And my son actually witnessed Nikki. He was standing there listening to her deal with an insurance company. And he said it was absolutely amazing, Dad. She was asking things and saying things that I had no idea I should have done. So, yeah, they take care of us. That is why they are the official shop of Garage Logic, the best in the biz. SchoonoverBodyWorks.com. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thanks, Kenny. Have a happy, positive Thursday, and take care, GLers.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's time to hit a liner. You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
Before I get back to the news, we were just talking about the fair during the break, and we should tell everybody again, we'll be at the KSTP building both Fridays, 1:15 to 2:15. Both days.
And that's the building right next door to where we always have been. So
I
it's
don't
not
think
difficult.
You didn't stress that timeline enough, John. It's way different from what we usually do. It's
1:15
to 2:15.
to 2:15.
Yep, 1 hour.
1 hour.
We're in and we're out.
And they have
Just like-
armed people there.
Well, they do because
to
television
have us move along.
requires a lot of production setup and whatnot. So they gave us a nice window between Minnesota Live and Twin Cities Live.
I got you.
It's always a lot of fun for me because they do have security, and the security guys never think that I'm part of the show. They look at me and like, no, pal.
You get the close
You
line?
got to bid it.
Hold up,
Hit it,
hold
buddy.
up.
Yeah.
Hey,
and unlike other GL appearances at the fair where we don't have enough guests, we are overbooked.
Yeah.
So this should be a real clown show.
Here it
gonna
is,
be a lot of
GLers.
fun.
It's going to be one hell of a music festival.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Will the green room in our old building be made available to us for?
Yes. Yes. You'll be
is,
fine.
okay.
For pre-gaming and
That's where
post-gaming?
you'll have to
Yes.
change into your Vikings cheerleader outfit.
Okay.
That's where management will roll in and say, where are you guys hiding the alcohol? Because I need a drink.
Right. What's going to be on our stage, on the building stage?
That's occupied now by Score North.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
And the talk shop is still right there in
Yep,
the...
you can still buy your Garage Logic swag at the talk shop.
New T-shirts, folks.
Yeah.
So, you know, and hats, I think, too, right, Chris?
because of our economy. You want to know why?
I love those T-shirts.
The
They're
hat,
looking
though,
good.
that we're coming out with, I really like the hat this year that we're coming out with.
I'm glad
What is it,
you do.
Chris?
Yeah.
What funny
trucker
logo is
hat,
on
or-
it? What
Is there
crazy
any,
logo
is there
on
any
it?
more news? Yeah.
Well, there is,
there
but
a
I just thought
wacky
it'd be good
logo
to
on it? Is it
promo
crazy?
the fair, Joe.
That's true.
We want people there. Okay. Why don't we move along then? To the
Please,
news?
shall we?
Let's go.
Wholesale prices increased in July at the quickest pace since February, as economists keeping a sharp eye on inflation data amid President Trump's trade war announced this morning 3.3% yearly increase, which blew past economists' expectations. That puts the Federal Reserve in a tough position as the central bank faces pressure on both sides of its mandate to keep prices low and employment as high as possible. The weak July jobs report showed that employment conditions are worsening, but upward moving prices means the Fed will have to negotiate financial concerns in the short term. The issue for the Fed now is cutting interest rates could help support the job market by easing borrowing costs, but doing so could also add fuel to inflation, which has lingered at an annual rate of 2.7% for 2 months since June. Other business news, Amazon announcing yesterday it's expanded same-day grocery delivery to more than 1,000 U.S. cities, with plans to reach more than 2,300 by the end of the year. Prime members get free delivery for orders $25 and up. There's a $2.99 fee if you have a smaller order than $25. Amazon's gross sales last year topped $100 billion. From more than 150 million U.S. customers. However, the company is lagging behind Walmart in grocery sales, with Walmart able to make same-day deliveries to more than 90% of the country. With stagnant growth in its cloud computing business, Amazon has redoubled efforts to capture more of the U.S. grocery delivery market, which it values at $800 billion. Amazon has also expanded offerings in recent years to include prescriptions, telehealth visits, and used cars.
Let's check in with Kansas City, speaking of grocery stores, and the DFL.
For months, the store hasn't fully been stocked. Still, person after person comes to buy groceries.
I thank the previous operator for the years they put into that, as well as their predecessor. And now we'll try to do all we can to make sure that this works.
Mayor Quinton Lucas is disappointed. He met with the store operator 2 weeks ago for hours trying to come up with a solution.
Yeah, I know there are different challenges to how a grocery store can operate. Part of that challenge is that the city certainly has been happy to be a partner, but there's always a limit to what we will invest as well.
City-owned grocery store in Kansas City has now shut down after nearly $29 million from the city had been invested to keep its doors open. But don't worry, it will definitely work in other cities.
Well, the little fruitcake who was advocating this for Ward 4 in St. Paul, he didn't survive the election.
Oh.
So,
question for you, Joe. Would the chief, in reference to John's last story, would the chief procurer in your home, would she ever order groceries ahead of time and either have them delivered or pick them up herself? Does that happen in your house?
That's a good question. To date, that has not happened.
Yeah, same with same here.
It has happened at my house. It's very convenient.
It is, actually.
What do you do? Call them?
You go online, Joe. There's this thing called the internet.
Yeah.
And you go to their website, whoever you're ordering from.
That sounds more trouble than it's worth.
It actually is, and I have a story about that. I did that at Walmart with a dash cam, and it resulted in me getting home and then seeing that I didn't get what I needed, driving back, and then walking all over Walmart numerous times to find the part I needed.
What role did the dash cam play? You said I did this with a dash cam.
I ordered a dash cam ahead of time, and
you mean to buy a dash cam?
And with the dash cam, hello, yeah. Can I get the time and temp, please?
Yeah.
Oh. You know what? I'm just going to stop.
No, I'm just picturing Joe trying to place an order on Amazon.
Well, I would have assumed he already had a dash cam.
Hey, Amazon's on the phone. Will you place your grocery order?
Yeah, I'd like to order some. I don't know what the hell you got.
Pistachios,
salaries, some toilet paper.
Hello. Hi.
What kind of toilet paper would you like?
All of it.
Extra strength.
I like grapes. Can you send me some grapes?
I mean, is that so? You go online? Oh, forget it. Who cares? Go ahead.
It's easy, Joe. You go.
It's not easy, John. There's nothing easy about it.
No, John was right. The process itself was very easy.
Wonderful.
Unfortunately, I didn't get what I needed.
You needed a dash cam.
I needed the proper SD card, and it was my own ignorance. I ended up with the wrong one.
Joe, what's an SD card?
For $1 million?
Syndicate duplicate.
Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Steely Dan card.
Hold on and hang on.
Phone's ringing, dude.
Phone's ringing, dude.
Phone's ringing.
I know, Donnie.
In other news,
do I call Amazon? That was a home run line, Joe.
President Trump yesterday threatening severe consequences against Russia if Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war in Ukraine. Trump said at the Kennedy Center in Washington as he took questions on his meeting on Friday with Russia's president, there will be consequences. He would not elaborate on what those consequences would be. When asked if they'd include sanctions or tariffs, Trump only told reporters he didn't have to say at this time.
They'll be whatever he needs them to be to continue to squash the Epstein stuff.
The comments came after a virtual conference between Trump, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, and European leaders. Trump described the conversation with the leaders as friendly, and European leaders said afterward Trump told them he would press Putin for a ceasefire. Meanwhile, Germany announcing yesterday it will work with a group of Ukraine's Western backers to supply a package of military aid to the war-ravaged country worth up to $500 million using a new NATO supply line. Earlier this month, NATO started coordinating regular deliveries of large weapons packages to Ukraine after the Netherlands said that it would provide air defense equipment, ammunition, and other military aid worth 500 million euros. Meanwhile, Sweden announced the following day it would contribute $275 million to a joint effort along with its Nordic neighbors, Denmark and Norway, to provide $500 million more worth of air defenses, anti-tank weapons, ammunition, and spare parts.
What possible reason could there ever be to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? None. So she's either got to die or you got to buy her off. That's the only reason there would be a pardon. It's the only two things for her.
Thank you for leading me right into my next story. This was not planned, folks. Yeah. It just worked out this way.
That's because we're professionals.
A rebel, most professionals wouldn't say, hey, thanks for leading me in, but I did. So
that's all right. That's fine.
A rebel Republican congressman has invited multiple victims of Jeffrey Epstein to a press conference at the U.S. Capitol as part of a bipartisan push to force the release of legal files linked to the late pedophile. Representative Thomas Massey of Kentucky, who's been a thorn in Donald Trump's side for his frequent objections to the president's spending bills and foreign policies, said that he and Democratic Rep. Ro Khanna will be co-hosting the September 3rd conference. The event will feature survivors of abuse by Epstein and his associate Ghislaine Maxwell, several of whom will be speaking out for the first time, according to the two lawmakers. Massey and Khanna will also provide an update on their discharge petition, which would force a House vote on releasing the Epstein files, as well as discuss their Epstein Files Transparency Act, which, if passed, would require Attorney General Pam Bondi to release all documents related to the billionaire financier in a searchable and downloadable format. Massey has made a name for himself for dissenting on GOP-backed legislation. Among other issues, he voted twice against the president's One Big Beautiful spending bill. The remains of an Antarctic researcher have been discovered by a Polish team among rocks exposed by a receding glacier in Antarctica. Identified by DNA as those of Dennis Tink Bell, a 25-year-old meteorologist who was working for the Falklands Islands Dependencies Survey, the predecessor of the British Antarctic Survey. He died in a crevasse on a glacier at Admiralty Bay on King George Island in 1959. His body had never been recovered. Over 200 personal items have been found, including the remains of radio equipment, a flashlight, ski poles, an inscribed wristwatch, a Swedish Mora knife, ski poles, and an ebonite pipe stem. The remains were carried to the Falkland Islands on the BAS Royal Research Ship Sir David Attenborough and handed into the care of His Majesty's coroner for British Antarctic Territory. The human remains were sent for DNA testing by Denise Court, professor in forensic genetics at King's College London. She's now has confirmed there is a match with samples from his brother David Bell and his sister Valerie Kelly.
Boy, he was missing longer than the guy in the Electra.
1959. Yeah. And controversy apparently not hurting South Park. South Park Season 27, Episode 2 has set new viewership records.
Did you guys see any clips from this?
No.
It was pretty funny.
The latest South Park season got off, of course, to a controversial start with very high ratings. The premiere episode, which we talked about when it came out, Sermon on the Mount, included President Trump getting into bed with Satan. Episode 2 did not shy away from controversy either, as it featured U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem shooting dogs and arresting immigrants, along with her face melting from various plastic surgeries.
They had an entire team, like once the face drooped, it was like an entire NASCAR pit crew. It was hilarious.
I haven't seen it, but you describing that makes me want to flock to go see it.
It's really funny. It was really funny.
In that same episode, Vice President J.D. Vance is depicted as a miniature version of himself standing next to President Trump.
Wow.
According to Variety, the second episode received 6.2 million global views across Paramount Plus.
Crap.
Didn't she shoot up a pet store in this?
Yes.
Yeah.
They actually added that to the first one. Yeah. That wasn't in the first one originally. They added that as a coda to the first one.
You know what tells me something about her, though? She made the photo of that her online Twitter profile picture. So that she took it in good spirit, as I guess the way I'm trying to say that. Hi, how are you? Yeah.
The second episode also had the highest young adult viewership for South Park ever, with an increase of 54% over the previous episode. The two episodes have already cemented themselves as two of South Park's most rewatchable episodes. After air viewings and conversations around both installments are continuing long after the episodes were released. TV watchers say the momentum will likely not be broken as South Park continues on this season. This, by the way, is their 27th season.
Wow.
I suspect that South Park would be having just as much fun with Harris.
Oh, heavens, yes.
Because that Buick Electra haul out of the river would have been a better president than Harris.
Well, they went after Cosby.
Yep.
They made fun of Cosby. With
Well,
the
they've
hot
gone
Cosby.
Why not?
Well, they make fun of everybody. That's the beauty of the show.
Dude,
How
he
fun.
can hear the hot Cosby.
How fun would it be to report to work every day at those offices?
Oh, yeah. It's almost like here.
Yeah, I'm sure the boss comes in and yells at him and says, I don't want to hear one word out of...
The lawyers upstairs are going to get you.
If you say even...
But what did they sign? What was the contract they signed, Johnny? With
A lot of money.
Was it $3 billion? Or
A
$5
lot of
billion?
money.
$5 billion.
A lot of
wasn't
money.
it? I wonder if they like text each other once in a while, like Kenny and I do, and say, "Oh God, it's time to go on."
Yeah. Are you feeling it today? No, not really. I haven't felt it all week.
Probably not.
Or me and Amy about an hour before we do Krabby. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
John, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's fantastic.
You know what it tells me?
What?
We are nuts.
Boy, are we...
Every last one of us is nuts. And
You're all snallygasters.
Here's the thing. Let's talk about We Are Nuts. Locally based right here in Minneapolis, Minnesota since 1987. We Are Nuts has been the ultimate craft roaster of prized, handmade, and small batch nuts, trail mixes, nut butters, caramel corns, and candies, boys. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic product right now. And you can see them at, let's see, Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores. You got the end caps there. Max Hardware, you've got all the end caps there. Lunds and Byerly's, you can see them. Kowalski's, and I guess I can't reveal the next location that they're coming to. But
it's been embargoed?
It's really cool, the growth of this company. And we've had a big hand in that. So all of you GLers that have made your purchase with We Are Nuts, we thank you very, very much.
You know, I had a nice talk with Mr. Nut.
Yes, you did.
Jim.
Big Jim.
And it was a car talk.
Yes.
And I said, man, I'd love to come over and see your stuff. And he said, anytime. That garage has been locked up tight. I don't think he's going to. I think he thinks if he opens the door, he's.
Wait a minute. So
I might show up.
Did you go keeler on him and just show up
No, I drive
unannounced?
by occasionally, and it's always shut. So I think
He's kind of honk.
I think he's kind of just.
You know, what I loved
Yeah.
about the conversation that you two had a week ago was I was sitting between you two at dinner, and you just basically kind of, reached over to kind of,
Right.
embargo the
Why don't you just
conversation.
get out of the way? Yeah.
I said, okay, I'll go take my plate and go eat somewhere else.
Yeah.
Anywho, it's the Burt family, and they are a fantastic family-owned business. WeAreNutsMN.com. That's the website, by the way, in case you are not able to make it into any one of those locations that I mentioned earlier. And go with the 4-pack. That's the crazy nut pack. And you know what? The bourbon toffee almonds have become my personal favorite.
Wasabi.
Are you a wasabi guy?
Yeah, those are good.
They will also be at the Great Minnesota Get Together, and they're going to unveil a couple of new products that I'll announce next week. But place your order at WeAreNutsMN.com, and please let them know that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Barney Miller.
You know what I have for you? You, Julie Farley of Mendota Heights. Julie, are you listening? You're the GLer of the week.
Wait, this week?
This week.
This week.
We did last week, yesterday, or the day
Monday.
before. Yeah. This
I know
is
Julie Farley. They're the St. Paul Farleys.
I know. I think if she's related to Pat, I just saw Pat Farley.
I just saw Brian Farley.
And that's how you become GLer.
So you got to know us to win this stuff.
This is all rigged.
It's a scam.
It's not, but it seems like it is.
So she wins the Masters Maples box of goodness. And
is that what they call it now? The box of goodness?
The box of syrup
Yes.
and whatever's in there. And it's wonderful stuff. And Julie Farley of Mendota Heights is this week's Masters Maples winner.
GLer of the week.
What did I say?
Yep.
Yeah, the GLer of the week.
That's right.
And the GLer of the week happens to win the Masters Maples gift box.
And I saw the gift box. That's a pretty nice gift box.
Oh,
of
it's
stuff.
wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
I know Mr. and Mrs. Marvel.
You met them last week?
Maple.
Yeah.
What's their name? Masters. I met Mr. and Mrs. Masters Maples.
Huh?
You did.
Yeah.
Maybe just stop now.
Thank you and congratulations, Julie Farley of Mendota Heights.
Thank you, Julie.
Yeah.
You can find out more and upgrade to your town council membership to be eligible
We got a
at
hot lawsuit in the news.
Uh-oh.
The tarantula lady. Marissa Simonetti. She's suing. She has filed a $28 million lawsuit alleging that various parties have acted to derail her Senate campaign. Remember, she was accused of throwing a tarantula at her...
at a tenant.
At a former Airbnb guest. Was her house an Airbnb house? Maybe, huh? And the tenant claims that Marissa threw a tarantula at her. In the lawsuit, Marissa Simonetti names the renter, Hennepin County, the city of Edina, the police officers of Edina as defendants. The legal action stems from an incident on July 21 of last year when Simonetti allegedly threw the spider and other items at her renter during a dispute inside the home they shared. The guest told police Simonetti was trespassing in her area of the residence, while Simonetti insisted that the woman was a squatter who was renting from her and refused to leave when the agreement was up. So this is a big deal, $28 million. The owner of the home told Carol Evans, Lou Ragoose, that the tenant was a he. Did you know that?
Oh, I thought it was
the spider got thrown at.
I didn't know that.
That he never gave Simonetti permission to sublet rooms, and that by doing so, she violated her own lease. Simonetti was arrested, spent the weekend in jail, was charged with fifth-degree misdemeanor assault for throwing the spider. And then it goes on to say that this endangered her well-being and political career. So court documents filed with suggest erratic behavior on the part of the guest and violent behavior, and accused the county and Edina of harassing her instead of removing the woman from her home. Now it's a woman. So the tenant is either a he or a she. I don't know.
I'm watching the video of her throwing the spider. It looks like the other the tenant is a woman.
Yeah. Maybe that was just a typo in this story. So, well, good luck to all parties involved. I hope it works out. We did, of course, have Marissa on one time, and she then had this incident pop up, and she's
on this day
contending that. Say, do you remember the story of Kathy Cargill?
Oh yes, I'm glad you're bringing this up.
That she was purchasing up Park Point in Duluth.
You mean Kenny's future girlfriend, Kathy Cargill?
Well,
current.
No, he'll have to get in line behind me.
No, she's my
No,
side
she's
action.
mine. She's a McLaren gal.
Well,
okay?
I'm pretty much.
You couldn't handle a McLaren.
I guess we're pretty much done anyway. So you go ahead and take my cast offs.
You've already had her, huh?
Anyway,
you've already been a fan. You've been a fan.
Anyway, she got sick of your S, and she's bailing on the whole project.
Well, she does. It does sound like she's bailing on the project. She's now selling the properties that she had purchased. And she's not necessarily, it does not appear that she's gaining much profit in selling them, if any.
Tough times for that family, huh?
I don't know anything. She's now selling about half the property she purchased. 3 of the properties have been consolidated into a single lot along the 7-mile-long sandbar that juts out into Lake Superior from Duluth's Canal Park neighborhood. Now, Cargill paid $1.7 million for those 3 properties, and she's now listing the combined properties as a single parcel for $850,000 with a sale already pending.
That's a steal.
She's losing some money there.
That's a steal, yeah.
So there was something about that story that caught my eye, Joe. One of the neighbors, a pearl clutcher and hand wringer, thought that this was good news because they are having a housing crisis in Duluth. Mm-hmm. How could this property, which has got to be very, very coveted among those who can afford it,
right,
how could that help the housing crisis?
It could not. That was just a pearl culture.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Remember, she got into a kerfuffle with the mayor, and
well, they're nosy. They can't keep their nose out of her business. Like, do you blame her? I'm on her side.
The minute I learned she was Miss McLaren, I was on her side. You go on the McLaren website, there's a video of her and her cars on the McLaren car website. I think McLaren's Mercedes-Benz. And they make some of the most gorgeous high-performance cars in the world. And this young woman, Kathy Cargill, apparently is a very well-known McLaren aficionado.
I wonder how she got bit by the bug.
Of McLarens?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I don't know.
Take a look at one. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean they're not hard on the eyes. She subsequently razed many of the homes she purchased, raising the ire of many locals, including Mayor Roger Reinert, who wrote in a letter to Cargill that any loss of residential housing is not helpful in a city experiencing an intense housing crunch. But as Kenny just alluded to, I really don't think you were going to end up housing a lot of unfortunates on the point there, right on the lakefront. Those would probably be pretty pristine properties.
Mm-hmm. We're not putting up fourplexes there with detached garages.
Does the one of the authors that you know, did he have a McLaren?
I know no author with a McLaren. No.
Oh, it wasn't a McLaren?
No, he had some AMG Mercedes stuff that was pretty high test.
You know what they do? They pull those off the line with the AMG as a former owner.
Oh, yeah. You were a former owner. And then it looked like an SUV that dragged hockey equipment around.
It looked like Jed Clampett's vehicle when you were done with it.
63 Electra that they pulled out of the lake.
Which was
river.
He had a couch on the roof at one point.
Boy, if you could only relive those days.
Oh, man, those were...
you couldn't even afford an oil change on that thing.
Actually, during that time, it was okay. Those were the good times. But now I couldn't even afford to put air in the tire. Wait, it's free? Not for Mercedes.
Only because they come to us. all the way. From Marloth Park in Mpumalanga, South Africa, from the Traveling Lymans. We didn't do much today.
On August 14th?
You would think in the middle of August we would have been more active.
Were we prepping for the fair?
Maybe.
Okay.
On this day,
August 14th.
In 1830, the council house of the Indian Agency at St. Peter is destroyed by arson. Arson is struck again on Feb 24, 1831, burning the agency home. Indian agent Lawrence Taliaferro was unpopular with corrupt traders who disliked his strict enforcement of federal rules. So they burned the guy down. They burned him out.
Oh.
Yeah, deservedly.
These were tough times.
And different times, man.
On this day,
August.
In 1848, residents of the land that would become St. Paul, nearly all of whom were squatters, sent Henry H. Sibley to a land sale at St. Croix Falls, where, as their agent, he formally purchased their lots for him.
Whose fault is that?
Okay, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Talk to me.
The people squatting in what would become St. Paul, where did they get the money to send Henry Sibley over to St. Croix Falls, which is across the river from Taylor's Falls, and buy lots for them? And are the people who now live in St. Croix Falls the descendants of these long ago squatters? There's more here that meets the eye, and this day in history does not provide enough information.
You got to peel that onion, man, layer by layer.
Wait a minute. Read that again.
Yeah.
Residents of the land that would become St. Paul, nearly all of whom were squatters, sent Henry H. Sibley to a land sale at St. Croix Falls, where, as their agent, he purchased lots for them.
Come on.
Maybe they
Give me a break.
Maybe they were
Are you-
bribing him.
What?
Maybe they had pictures of him and some dude arm in arm.
What year was this?
Down at
1840?
Pig's Hollow there.
1848.
Yeah, I don't think they had a Kodachrome yet.
On this day in Minnesota sports disappointment history.
August 14th.
Well, on this day in 1959.
Yep.
Millers.
Just a minute, I have a terrible eye itch.
I'm going to try to get Kodachrome in every show from now on.
On this day in 1959, Minneapolis and St. Paul were awarded an original, not yet called AFL, franchise. We were
That's
awarded an original, what would have become an AFL franchise.
Did that obviously turn into the Vikings?
It did.
I did not know the Vikings were an AFL.
They weren't. When the Vikings debuted, they were an NFL team.
Because the merger had already happened.
Apparently.
No, the merger wasn't until 68.
The merger was long coming.
Well, I'm not trying to make a joke. You said AFL, though. Not yet AFL? Is that what you said?
The Minneapolis and St. Paul was awarded an AFL franchise, which apparently they did not act on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because
Gotcha.
by 1961, they purchased for about $600,000 the team we now know. They purchased the rights to create a team, an expansion team,
the Vikings. Okay.
The Vikings.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Now, I would imagine some of the principals in 1959 were the same people, Max Winter and others, who ultimately purchased the franchise that became the Vikings.
Sure.
The Brotherhood.
Yeah, the Brotherhood.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
Can I get the time and temp, please?
Yep.
Yeah, as long as I get the time and the temp.
Really? What's that?
Minneapolis had quite a brotherhood in the mid-20th century.
Which no longer exists.
It does not exist at all, thus the takeover by Snollygasters.
When did the Brotherhood go away in your estimation?
I would say by the early 90s. Early to mid 90s.
Wouldn't you say they built
That's
the dome?
That's why I've boosted it up to the early to mid 90s.
Yeah.
The Brotherhood was behind the dome.
When the North Stars left, that's when they disbanded.
Maybe. That would have been early 90s.
93.
Yeah, 93. Thank you, GLers. Thank you so much.
Please do us a favor if you have not done so already. I got to tell you, the Garage Logic YouTube channel is en fuego. That means on fire, Joe.
What? Did we get as many hits on YouTube today as Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got on their show yesterday?
No.
Okay.
But we're going to aim for that type of
there's 700,000 podcasts in the country, and the host of only one of them has Taylor Swift as a girlfriend. I've tried to explain to some people near me that, look, if my girlfriend was Taylor Swift, boom, we would have had those.
We're taking off.
Yeah.
Hey, one can only hope.
Can the CP sing?
No.
Does Taylor Swift have a flower delivery business?
No, she owns flower delivery business.
The grass ain't always greener over on the hill.
Find out more and sign up today for the, all of that. Just look at garagelogic.com.
See you at the fair.
It is time once again that we check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, oh boy, now is the time for you to do the same. So do what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh, and he is there for you for that free, yes, I did use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice. And he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, Josh, this seems to be a common theme here right now, but let's just throw them all in the cage, right?
Put them all in the cage. The latest put them in the cage. Twins fans with the Pohlads. Put them in the cage. I am a baseball fan. I'm a Twins fan as well as growing up outside of Philadelphia, Phillies fan. I've been around many losing ball clubs for decades. The drama, the angst around the Pohlad sale, no sale of the Twins definitely ranks up there. I know a lot of fans are saying, well, these guys have so much money, they should pour it into the ball club. They're only interested in profit. I've got no deal with that. I am interested, too, in profit. And when you do have a winning ball club, your profits tend to increase more than having a losing ball club. Just goes to stand out. They can go into the cage and fight it out. And, of course, we know there's going to be a big cage match next July 4th on the White House for UFC, and that definitely is going to help their revenues as well as the revenues of Paramount Skydance, which we discussed earlier this week, signed a 7-year, $7.7 billion deal with UFC. Since that deal was announced, Paramount Skydance, now a small cap company with limited float, has seen its stock jump about 30%. I do say be cautious out there with this. Yes, the Ellison family and leaders of Skydance, now the owners of Paramount, are going to be spending a little money to boost this media company, but it's going to be a long pull, not a short pull. But I am sure they're going to pull as many stops as they can to make the Paramount network a little bit more profitable. So that would include still a bunch of entertainment and a bunch of sports, and the combination, we'll say, of sports entertainment, which fits right in with TKO's own UFC. So be careful out there with this particular property. TKO, as we discussed earlier, shares are thinly traded, which can boost it up quickly or down just as quickly. But do bear in mind that insiders back in February were accumulating shares between $163 a share and $175. The shares have finally broken out to the upside. Moving on from cage matches, several companies have been reporting numbers, and they have been impacted a little bit by tariffs or potential tariffs, whether it's John Deere, which reported this morning, first on a positive, but they cut their guidance on concerns, of course, with tariff. Tapestry, a retail, we'll say, associated more with women's fashion, including Coach and Kate Spade. Their stock was down a bunch. They did beat the numbers, had a pretty good quarter, and said people are buying the merchandise, but they're cutting their guidance on the impact of tariffs, which could put a 60-cent per share hit to their EPS line over the course of the next year. Tapestry's report follows on shoes and several other retailers who have reported, and maybe that extends to old favorite Nike, which right now is in the midst of a turnaround and trying to increase their presence on the shoe wall. While that's been going on, the producer price index came in, which is another consideration of the Fed in terms of their interest rate policy. Now, bear in mind the CPI number was down on Tuesday. The PPI number came in significantly above estimates at 0.9% versus an expectation of 0.2%. And even if we take out food and energy costs, the PPI number is still up. So is that, and this is up on the back really of the wholesalers, I'm guessing wholesalers starting to increase their prices to cover any cost of tariff. So now when the Fed meets in a couple weeks in Jackson Hole, Wyoming for their annual confab, and then again in September for setting interest rate policies, they're going to be faced with some difficult decisions. Is in fact inflation coming down significantly, as some numbers indicate? Is inflation sticky, which I see, given the price of housing and housing prices being 35% of the CPI, and they're not coming down. Insurance costs are certainly not coming down. And together, insurance costs, housing costs, now that's a little over 40% of the CPI, and they're going to float through. So the Fed could be stuck, and then the question that then becomes their other mandate of full employment. And here, the weekly jobless claims number did come in a little bit lower than expected. So a lot of moving parts that several traders are, continue to focus in on the Fed. A few days ago, they thought now in September the Fed would cut 50 basis points. Well, they did that last September, and to me that was not a good sign, nor at that time that I believe it was necessary. And I think if the Fed were to cut 50 basis points, again, not a good look for the Fed, and to me it would indicate more fear of what's coming in than whether the economy is still relatively strong, and parts of it are still I'll say, are still growing.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. Well, you heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And again, you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Chris.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.